if you summarize all the discussion that we have till now, the genetic algorithm works as follows. So first step is to initiate the problem by choosing what should be your population size. So that is some decision that you have to take. Typically, if you are having n number of design variables, you will choose from 2 to 4n is the size of population. So if you are having a problem which is having let's say 10 number of design variables, you will choose population which is about 20 to 40. But this is not hard and fast rule. To begin with, you can choose the population size for your problem, and this needs to be tweaked or varied after you take few runs. You will find what population size works for your problem. You choose the mutation probability, that is out of the offsprings which are formed after the crossover part, how many number of offsprings you should do the mutation. So that is again the probability number you'll have to fix. As I said earlier, this is typically taken as less than 5%. If you are having integer numbers, then you will have to select the size of your string to accommodate the highest value of integer number, or if you are having real numbers, then you have to select the size of string depending on how many decimals you want to retain in your solution, what accuracy level you require. That is what we discussed in few slides before. So these three things you need to decide beforehand before you enter into the algorithm. You also decide how many times you want to do the iteration. So t max, t is the number of generations. So first you start with t equal to 0, that is 0th generation, the initial pool, which you are again forming by random selection among your design space. So you have to define what is for each of the design variable, what is the minimum value and maximum value, and within that design space you randomly select the samples or your members of your population, and then initiate the algorithm. So once you have chosen the members of your population, it is converted into string, the binary string, and once the string is there, you evaluate each string in the population based on its fitness. So how much is the fitness of that particular string is calculated. The fitness is nothing but the value of objective function. So this is the objective function value is what you are calculating. So you rank your population in terms of your their fitness values and then proceed further. At this stage, you check the generation that you are dealing with, whether it has exceeded the maximum number of generation. If it is there, then you terminate, otherwise you proceed. So till the time you reach the maximum number of generations, you keep on doing this particular procedure. The first step is to perform or to apply the reproduction operator on the population. So as a part of this, you will be forming the mating pool, which will consist of parents which are having higher fitness values or probably having higher fitness value. It is not guaranteed because this is probabilistic approach. Once you have done the mating pool, you pick any two random samples from your pool and perform the crossover from the mating pool. So any pair which is randomly chosen, you take the strings, decide location for crossover, and then do the swapping for the right side of the crossover side. So that gives you the offsprings. Once you have got the offspring, based on the value of mutation probability, few of those strings will be subjected to mutation. So for every string, you check whether it will have mutation or not. You will see that detail when you see the Python implementation of the code, and you perform mutation on these strings, and as a result of which you will get your next generation for applying the genetic algorithm. So you increment the generation number by 1. So now you are entering into next generation. So in the next generation, again the same cycle of finding out fitness, selecting the mating pool, crossover and mutation. It continues, and you keep on continuing this till the time the maximum number of generations is reached, at which time you stop, and whichever is the best solution in that final population is considered as the best solution for your problem. As we'll see in the Python implementation next, this particular approach works wonderfully well for all sort of problems, and that is what makes it interesting. Before we look into the actual Python implementation of this algorithm, let's have look at some of the notable features of genetic algorithm and why it has been so widely used. So we'll get some idea about that from the next slide. So the first important feature of genetic algorithm is that previously found good information, that is every generation there are some fit parents. So their information, that is what constitutes a good solution, it is emphasized using reproduction and propagated through crossover and mutation. So that means you are not only concentrating on the fittest individual in your population, but you are using a pool of different members of your population which are close to higher fitness values or which are having higher fitness values. So their information is compiled together or it is processed together. So that is the difference is genetic algorithm is having. The traditional population based algorithms, we have already seen boxes algorithm, which also works on multiple number of points in each iteration, but it does on individual based. So it only considers a point among your cluster which is having the best value towards the optima, and then continues uh, with that point as a reference and moves ahead. Whereas in this case, you have collective decision making, which makes it powerful for more complex scenarios, which are having many local optimas, and you have to move towards a global optima, which is hidden among them. Another notable feature is the stochastic nature or the probability based decisions those are taken. So each of the operator, that is the reproduction or the selection of the parents, crossover or formation of the offsprings, or mutations, which is to induce diversity in your population. So all these operators, they work on the probability. So because you are introducing some kind of randomness, there is a better chance of reaching the global optima. You are not fixed in a particular strategy. It is not a deterministic approach. So because you are doing something out of the way, so that gives you a chance that because of that out of way thinking, you may hit upon a solution which was not thought of earlier or which is not logically thought of. So that is another good feature of genetic algorithm. It is robust algorithm. Here the robust word we are using in the sense that this particular algorithm is able to handle situations which are diverse in nature. So this particular genetic algorithm has been applied to wide variety of problems. So it works in very different types of scenarios or different types of objective functions and different nature of variables. It seems to give solution which works or it gives practically good solutions. It may not be the most efficient algorithm, but it works in all types of scenarios. Like for example, if you take calculus based algorithms, they will not work where you cannot find the derivatives. So in that sense, those algorithms are powerful in certain class of problems, but other class of problems, they cannot be used at all. So their robustness can be considered as less, whereas genetic algorithms are more robust. So they work in any problem you throw at them, they will give you solution. It may not be the fastest possible or the computationally superior solution, but it will give you solution or some insight into the nature of the problem. So these are some of the features which make the genetic algorithm interesting for engineering optimization problems.